What's happening, party people? I'm about to hit the road, headed out to the Virginia area. Going to start out probably in Roanoke, go to Richmond, and work my way around Fredericksburg, Alexandria, probably go up to the Baltimore area, a few other stops. So, if I am supposed to connect with you for any reason, please give me a call and text so that I'll make sure that I connect with you, give you the parts that you have, things like that. So, give me a call or text. Here's the number. Hopefully we'll get you taken care of. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert. That's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. I'm here with this V70R. I'm about to replace the rear suspension ABS sensor wire harness. The wiring goes from the sensor, which of course screws into the wheel hub, and goes up around back behind where the fuel filter is, and then up through the floor where the access panel is for the wiring, and on the P80 cars the fuel pump access panel, and then there's a group of wire harness connections there. So we're going to replace this right side sensor from the wheel up to that plug so that it can be proper and no hack splices going down there. There's really room to do this without pulling the wheels, but if you want to pull the wheels, that's up to you. You can take the wheel lug nuts loose, jack the car up, put jack stands under it, remove the wheels, and then access the sensor and stuff that way. Or you could do like I did, just back the car up on ramps. Now I put a wheel stop up there because this car didn't have a parking brake. I put two wheel stops on this side, and next thing I'm gonna do is go inside and remove the flooring. And this car has custom audio stuff bolted to these panels, so that's going to be a little more work trying to get this stuff out of here because of this stuff that's bolted to that. And I don't know if I have to undo wiring on this or not. I see where they got Allen screws, wiring, this and that, and this one has a quick release, that one doesn't. I don't know what's going on with the amps and how that stuff's tied down, and then there's stuff in the car I got to move out of the way. And it's hot out here. I ain't trying to complain, but I'm getting old and it's hot. I also noticed that this exhaust is not right. This side has a round tip. This side has an oval tip. This tip's 2 inches down from the bumper. This tip is a 1/4 inch from the bumper. Then I went under it, and this side is the side that let me show you. This is really a single exhaust split off to a dual to look fancy, I guess. I don't know if it has any real purpose. But see, you see one exhaust coming down. It goes up and over this rear suspension stuff. It comes down from the rear suspension there, and it just splits off. Muffler on that side, muffler on this side. And I noticed that whoever just redid a lot of this exhaust let this side of the exhaust lay on the rear suspension. If I push it, you'll hear it. Surely that ain't right, so I'm gonna pay this person a visit so that he can rehang this. It looks like he welded a hanger on here and he didn't hang it in the right place, so it's of course hanging this down and causing that delay on the suspension. Man, it's just hard to find people to do the right thing. I just don't get it. So let me go deal with that at another time, but in the meantime I'm gonna deal with this ABS sensor stuff. So the next thing I recommend you do is get everything out of the back of the car and remove the flooring, which is easy to do. I'll show you in a minute. Boy, this sure looks like an octopus nightmare. This amp is screwed down with some security square peg screws, not Phillips, not Torx. And all this wiring is laying around here some kind of way. And of course this amp is in here. And of course this driver box is in here. I'm going to take this driver box and slide it up on the back of the seats and see if I could take this floor loose without unbolting that amp and stuff from it, and maybe just take it and move it up to that seat as well, so that it's not uninstalled. I don't want to do all that extra work. I just noticed that we got a lot of rubber in here. This car had a flat the other day, drove it on the flat. It grinded rubber inside the wheel. That tire was tossed back here in that wheel, and it was cut open, and it dumped a bunch of rubber in there, so somebody needs to vacuum that up. To remove this rear floor panel, you lift this up. If it's not locked, you can actually lock these with the ignition key. Lift them off each side. Then you pull these up on each side. Move them out of the way. I don't know if this is going to go very far. Alright, I'm going to leave that like that because I need to access screws in the bottom here. So this lifts up. Oh, it's not lifting up because the amp is screwed down. I'm going to have to find my specialty drivers and get those screws out of that amp so that amp can be loose. Be right back. I was in Home Depot one day and was trying to find some 2.0 batteries for my Milwaukee tool. Found this bit kit from DeWalt. Thought it was real neat. Had a lot of T25s in there, Phillips and stuff that I would use. This thing has some kind of special stackable thing you could do, a bit set you could put in your pocket, take with you in the junkyard. So I purchased this, and now I have those square bits that I need to undo that. And of course these lock right into my little Makita driver here. So let me put this in there, get those out, and move forward. Quick and easy, 4 screws. I set them right there so I don't lose them. Now I can lift this up, and you got 4 10 millimeters, 2 there, 2 there, and that will allow you to open up this access panel where all these wires come through. And then you need to find the plug connector, which is probably right under the floor there, where all of these sensors and stuff plug into. Actually, I thought it was more toward the middle here. So let me go ahead and pull those 4 10 millimeters. Then this floor will slide back toward the back of the car and lift out. However, since there's holes drilled in it, I don't think I'm going to be able to move it too far. Once those 4 bolts are removed, 2 on each side, you take this and you slide it back just a little bit, and it'll uncatch from the catches on the front side of it. Again, this one is tied in here somehow with all this wiring, so I need to maneuver this in a way that doesn't damage this stereo wiring. Not that the stereo works right. Since I have a portable vac, I vacuumed up some of this, I guess, miscellaneous dirt that was on this panel. However, I don't see a easy way to get this panel up and out of the way with all of this wiring stuff going through there. So I'm gonna get something and prop it up and work on this connection there, take this up. So let me get something to put under here just to lift this up so I can access the plugs and stuff I need. I have that propped up there and propped up over there so it don't close down on me. I removed these 5 screws from this floor panel. So this is where all of this wiring and stuff comes up through here. So this yellow plug is for the ABS sensors, right and left. I'm going to take the right one loose from down there and fish it up through here a little bit so I can get a grip on the right wire, and then pull that one up through while I pull the plug and stuff up for the replacement sensor. And then I'm going to splice the connector into the two wires and have it still connected with a connector, and leave these other two to the other wire, the other sensor alone. One's right, one's left. I don't know if it tells us here which one's right, which one's left. I don't see that it does, but I'll figure it out here in a minute and get these things where I have them separated. I got one separated already. Figure out which one is that, and if this is the right one, I don't have to mess with the left one. So let me go into the car and see what's going on. Into the vehicle, this is similar to the 850s front wheel drive cars. They have the two ABS sensors come off the hubs. I don't know if they bolt right there like that one does. And then they run along here and they go up around the fuel tank and through that panel where you access the fuel tank on the front wheel drive cars. And here's a wire harness that's going over to it. It's got this protective sleeve on this trailing arm, holding it against that trailing arm. So you need to push this off of here. Two hands will do it. And then the other one is on the other side. Now on the front wheel drive cars, 850s, something happens to these sensor wires back here. They just get old or whatever, they break. And then you get ABS error codes. My 95 has a error code right now, ABS and tracks, that comes on intermittently. When I read the codes, it talks about the rear suspension. We'll cover that when I do that rear end on that car. But you simply take the sensor loose here, take this sleeve loose, take the clip loose from right here where it clips onto the rear suspension. You know, it's protecting the wire, it's got the sleeve, and then you push it up past this fuel filter and hook it up into that harness. Now, of course, as you see here, this probably be a real good time to replace this fuel filter. My guess is it's probably never been replaced. 275,000 miles. Since I have one of these fuel filters handy, I'm going to spray that thing down with PB Blaster and replace this fuel filter while I'm up here. That'll also get it out of the way. Be a good time to replace a fuel filter. And I happen to have a filter with me. I purchased this off somebody that probably didn't need it at the time because I knew I would use it sooner than later. So here it is. Let me try to get that 8mm screw out of there and move that bracket out of the way, take that filter out, put the new one in. I'm gonna go ahead and take this wire stuff off of here first, just in case that thing decides to start purging fuel. I could get the new one on without losing too much fuel. Don't want to lose a lot of fuel back here. Pried this plastic off the bar and the wire loom is in there. There's a clip on the back of here. I'm gonna pry that loose. So I got that loose. Now I can feed this up here a little bit to see which wire is which, so I can get the right wire. So let me go up there, and I can actually put a little piece of blue tape on this, so when I pull it up there, I'll see which one it is. And it has a piece of yellow on there. Not sure what is hanging up on down here. Oh, it's going over and under the side of this filter. Alright, that's the way it's going to go to make sure we protect it. So let me go up here and see which one it's that. So one of these is loose, one of these is tight. That seems tight. Let me try this other one. See if this other one seems loose. That seems tight. Okay, they're both in a clip here. So let me, dirty. Let me undo this zip tie. You put a screwdriver in there and open that up. Then I'll separate them. And it looks like this one. The other one is the one that's for this right wheel. Oh, look. I got a crack in this J-hose here. That needs to be replaced. Because of how sensitive these sensors are, I think I'm going to feel more comfortable splicing the harness than I am the sensor wire. So I'm going to go down, bolt this sensor in here, feed this harness up through there, and I'm going to splice this green white and green black wire to the harness and have this sensor harness whole. And this sure does have R on it for right, so I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this in the hub, put this in the sleeve, clip that on the back of that suspension, run this up through the hole, tape them together, put them in that zip tie, and then wire this plug to that harness. I'm gonna have two plugs, but I'd rather do that than cut the wire on this because I don't have the tool to release these pins in here. I wish I had that tool. I would just unpin it and go from there, but I don't. Well, I messed with a tip of one of these wires. I figured out how to get it out. If you look down in there, you can see it has a raised tab on there. If you can stick something down in there, like an accessory screwdriver, push down on that tab, the wire pulls out. So I'm gonna try to pull these out without damaging them. I got the black on one side. Let me tell you what side this is so we don't get them mixed up. On my sensor, the black goes to the green and the black wire. The brown goes to the green with the white wire. So that's how I'm going to verify that they are on that connector and pull those out and plug these in after I fish it through. So you open up the back of the connector. It has a little clip on it so you can pull the wires out, and you release the tab down on this side. They are on this side of the wire spade that goes through the connector. I got them out. Of course, you don't have to do that. You could just splice the wires on the other side of the connector, have two connectors. I'm just being extra. Well, you really have to pay attention to which way these wires are in, because these were in upside down the other way. So it don't matter. They could be in up that way or down that way. So look at the back of the wire. If the back of it looks like this, the tab is on the other side. If the back of the wire looks like this, that's the side the tab is on. The tab is on the side where the crimp is on, not on the other side. So pay attention to how it goes through there. Let me get down here, bolt that in, run those wires up there, and get this over with. A couple days ago, I put this knuckle on there. I put the screw in there, so the screw's there. Let me pull the screw out, put the sensor through the hole, and put the screw back up. Got the sensor in there, the screw in there. The screw's just really snug down. It don't have to be super tight. Now let me run this through that sleeve like it was. Tape this, pull this up through there with this on the end so that I know it comes through. Let me put tape on there and pull that through. I got the sensor in there. I snapped the wire in the sleeve. Now I'm going to snap the sleeve back on here. And then I'm going to run the wire up along there and put that clip back on the back of the suspension. I got it pulled up here. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. The brown one on this side, the black one on this side. And I should be good to go. Tape them back together with the yellow tape. Put that zip tie back on them that I took loose, and plug that thing in over there. To my surprise, I had to pull my locking tab back up a little bit so it would lock in when I push them through the holes. And I pushed the back of them through with needle nose pliers. And there they are. Back in place. Close that back down. Let me secure these and plug them in. Tuck all those wires in that plastic holder for those harnesses. Wrap the wires in that rubber grommet. Put this access panel back on. Snug those bolts down. They don't need to be too tight. And then put this floor back in and you're all done. Now, if you're replacing both harnesses on both sides, you just do the same thing for the other side. But if you buy these ABS sensors, they'll probably come two together, and you just run the wires the way they need to be run, bring them up through there, plug them in. You don't have to deal with the plug like I did. I just got one from the salvage yard and replaced that one. So I'm all done recording purposes. Let me clean this up, replace this fuel filter. And I look down here, I got a hole in the tub where somebody's towed this hook down here and tore the tub open. That'll need to be re-welded. Or you could put some kind of sealing of some kind in there, rubberized epoxy or something. You just don't want that left open, so treat it for the rust and seal it up. There it is. The sensor's done, and I even got the fuel filter done. I was able to spray a little PB blaster on it, hit the top of the screw with a wire brush, put a little bit on my finger, got it around there to the threads. And when I got this old filter out, I found out that it had been replaced. It's the same wick replacement filter that I got to replace it. So there we are, good for another 100,000 miles. Good to go. I also got it secured, got it marked, and when I started to put this back panel in, I found some screws, figured out where those screws went. This bar was missing several screws, so I got those screwed back in. I think this box was installed upside down. I flipped it so I could read the writing, and there's a tweeter up there. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and set this back here and load all the stuff back up in there and vacuum the rest of that grid up there. I don't think Byron had a jack in here, so now he's got a jack and some gloves. Ready for the next flat, which should be a while. I got brand new Michelins on here. I'm gonna find this trim piece here, put that up there one of these days soon, and I guess that should be it for now. Well, it's almost 7:15. I'm gonna take a break, get something to eat, come back, do this ABS module and this door, and then that's probably gonna call it a night. He needs to take this and get this exhaust fixed. I bet this will be just as effective if the base was facing that way, and that way it wouldn't have a risk of getting damaged by anything you put in here. And man, look, those are Alpine. So I think I'm gonna take that box, spin it around so it'll protect those drivers. Come out here to replace the ABS, and to my surprise, I don't remember this before. Can't even get the tool on the ABS bolts because this intake tube is in the way. Can't get a tool on it. I got to take the intake out and all this other garbage out of the way just to replace the ABS. Wow. Got it out of there without taking that tube off. I'm kind of surprised. Had 4 screws in there, but they weren't too tight. So that's the unit there and the part number. I got 2 here. I think they're supposed to be good. So I'm going to try these one at a time and see if either one of these is good. I thought somebody told me they opened these up and fixed them, but we'll see. Let me take these and put them in there. 8619538, 8619538, 8622-093. Ruh-roh. Let's see, 6840, 6840, 6840, 3469, 82, 3469, 82. Yep. This may not be it, but looks like the same creature. Heck, maybe it has the wrong creature on it. If somebody can tell me if this is the one for the 99 cars. I got it on. I think it's straight. So I'll fire it up, take it for a test drive, see if that ABS modules work. If not, I'll find the right one and get it on the car. I only put 2 screws in it for now. If it works, I'll come back and put 2 more screws in it. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.